loud. Oh, yeah, it's recording now. This is Jersey Boys episode 5. Is it episode 5, Shea?
I don't remember. I don't remember the bit.
Is the microphone catching this?
I think this is the 4th episode.
Yes, that's it. See, this is the thing. This is the bit, is that Shea just doesn't acknowledge the existence of episode 1. But now it's fucking me up for introducing the episode. So thank you for that, Shea. This is like Shea's
always remember the 4th
revenge.
episode had Legos as the episode number, which I was big.
Yeah, I was just like on the graphic database. I was like, what number? Like, I was just wanted as many different fonts of numbers for the logo, and then I saw Legos, and I was like, well, that's going to work for both of us. So
someone should go Lego for their numbers. Like if Sweden makes the World Cup, because I think that's where Legos. Maybe that's why I love Legos so much.
It's in your heritage.
Yes.
Do you like Swedish
Nordic heritage?
Do you like Swedish fish, even though they probably have nothing to do with Sweden? But
are those the gummy candy?
Yeah, they're like the red. They're just like yellow box and red gummy candy.
I don't hate them. I wouldn't kick them out of bed. I think I like most gummies. I will say.
Yeah.
Even though they're made from horse hooves, so I try not to divulge too much. But sometimes you just gotta break the rules to remember.
No, I love a gummy candy.
I like them way more than chocolate, I will say. Like chocolate is I can only eat chocolate in the wintertime, and even then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You can just taste
it's chocolate.
For you.
Yeah, it's just you feel the weight of the chocolate instantly as it hits you, like before it's even swallowed. It's in you. It's just you feeling it, and then
your teeth hurt, and it's just
and it's just, whereas like gummy candy, like they even at the cricket, which I'll be going in a couple of weeks for the Ashes. There's like a crew that run around with like red frogs, are like they're kind of very similar to Swedish fish actually.
They sound amazing.
Yeah, they hand them out in the crowd to give people sugar and like a little bit of energy, because they know that everyone's dehydrated and just drinking beer all day. So there's like a crew.
So they're going to dehydrate them more.
Well, they're at least like, here's some sugar. Maybe go get. I think they should hand out. Maybe they do hand out water. I don't know. I usually don't remember very well because I just take the frogs and keep drinking my beers. But yeah,
I love that Wimbledon has like strawberries and cream, and you guys are like, gummies, who wants which I did see a tremendous blooper from Wimbledon this week, but I'll mention that at a later date. Wimbledon happened. I don't even know when this Wimbledon was either. It could have been like 3 years ago, but I just saw it for the first time, and it's tremendous.
Well, the most recent one's a few months back now, so yeah, I honestly don't know.
I was
which one. I have no idea what you're talking about, but
it was a nut shot. It was a doubles, and the guy just got his nuts wailed on by a ball. But because doubles, they can get really intense because they can hit it really hard and you're really close. So I'll send it to you. I'll send you a clip. There's also a wild card element to it. So good.
I'm intrigued by what
we're talking about. The ambiance of sports. A nut shot, nobody's mad about that.
Yeah, that would get into any hottest kits of the week.
Yeah, that guy's on my hottest kits of the week for wearing all white and getting hit straight in the nards.
All right. Well,
I got plenty of kits of the week, but we'll get there later.
Well, I was going to just throw a wild card out there and just say, let's get our hottest kits of the week done.
Oh, first. Okay.
Then get to the meat of the pod, and then we can do the addition. I don't know if you've got an addition to a jersey for this week, or
I don't, but I'll free will one. I can figure it out on the fly.
Well, yeah, that's basically right. So the pod, Jersey Boys Pod _ Jersey Boys Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We'll hit our hottest kits first, and then we'll get into the meat of the pod, which is just a bit of a short discussion about Premier League kits and the I guess the marketing and the commercialism and capitalism behind the market of the last 10, 15 years, and a club that's doing something a little bit differently. But we'll get to that. First of all, hottest kit. Yes, yeah, it's very cool. But hottest kits of the week. I'm going to let you go first, and you might go with one that's just a weekly segment at this point. But I'll let you do that one if you want.
No, I think you know what. In a little bit because I just wanted.
Okay, yep.
But cool. I'm going to start off with the New York Giants jerseys today against.
Right.
And if it's a performance based, I'm going to go with their defense against Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
Nice
this has nothing to do with your fantasy team, but I think
my fantasy team is going to lose because of that Jalen Hurts performance. So that's fucking fantastic.
But they looked great. Their defense looked great doing it, and they're all white. And they did a little royal blue helmet, which I think is their permanent helmet now with the old Giants script, which I think is their permanent helmet. But they switched when we were like in primary school, I believe you call it. Somewhere, I don't know what you guys call middle school.
We don't have middle school.
Is that
what do you
primary?
We just have we go from primary school and then into high school.
High school.
Okay.
You go elementary, middle, and then
elementary. Deal what do you
elementary?
Fucking elementary.
And then there's kindergarten before elementary, kind of. But
yeah. I mean, we have that too.
But yeah, they just didn't come up with a good name for middle. It's like middle. Go about it. But they changed to the NY helmets, which I always thought were really cool when I was growing up. But it's cool to see them go back to the old Giants script logo, or not script, but whatever font that is. The LT era Giants. And just seeing that dominant defensive performance against Jalen Hurts, it reminded me of the Lawrence Taylor days, even though I was not alive. So it's just, but like, if you watch like a best videos highlight of the 1980s NFL, you'll see like those exact. Nice. It's luckily we're not monetized because we would be demonetized already.
Exactly. we keep the money on the field, or whatever Billy Bean says.
Yeah, we kind of in a pod sense, we kind of are Moneyball.
Yeah,
I'm Jonah Hill. I love that I can do visual bits now. Yeah. But I also hate that I'm on camera because I have to wear my hat low. So the dichotomy of a video element, I like it.
Yeah, well, I just started it and I was like, I think my fucking headphones are keeping my hair in place, so I'm all good. Just like all tied up back there.
There you go. Good. That's the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Look like you're a player up for a game.
I'm trying to think. So if you're Jonah Hill,
you be Brad Pitt. I'll let you have that. Or Billy Bean, whatever.
Yeah, I do get a lot of old people telling me to fuck off, like the fucking like the old scouts in that movie. So, and I get that from the older generation at times.
Actually, I'm probably the old scouts, and you're Billy Bean, and you just have to listen to my theories about players having ugly girlfriends and lacking confidence and stuff of that nature.
I'm saying she's a 6 at best.
God, old white guy baseball. I love it.
Who's Fabio? That's such a great Aaron. That's such a great Aaron Sorkin bit. Just this movie stuff, but
yeah,
just great writing and a great.
We're just always gonna mix podcasts, whatever we do.
Yeah, and it's a great sports movie and a great aesthetic. That to me is a very. We should do an aesthetically pleasing sports movies at some point. It'll be like crossover pod, but that one I love the
draft next up. We're hurting for a draft. I think now. I think we're on a good pace for that. This is probably off-air topic, but
no, the people can listen to our plans as we.
I don't know what the draft would be, but I'm into it.
We can think of something in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
This entire podcast is from the seat of our pants, so we'll keep. Yeah. That's where the energy comes from. A lot of energy in the pod.
All right, what's your top? Well, okay, I don't want to say the Giants are my top, but they're one I really like today, and so recency bias. And with the holiday and everything, like I didn't really like lock in on anything I really, really liked. And I'll get to some complaints about Thanksgiving as well. Sports, that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the holiday.
I do have a couple. I got one. I'll go with my top one. This one, I'm happy to do this one because it's a bit of an out there one that probably won't get too many shout outs, but Tampa Bay Rowdies home kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
So they unfortunately, at the moment, they're in the USL Championship game, and last I checked, they're 3-1 down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 3-1 down a few minutes ago, and it's towards the end. So fortunately looking like they're going to lose that one. But their team I've followed for a long time now, basically because there's a couple of Liverpool Twitter guys that are based in the Tampa area. I assume, I don't know exactly where, but they started doing a podcast for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, like just their own podcast. Fuck, 6-7 years ago now, and they got really big with that, and they now do the pitch side, like pregame, like official Tampa Bay Rowdy stuff, and they're really involved at that. Like, and they won, so they were 2-0 down in the Eastern Conference Finals last week, and came back with an 83rd minute goal, then a 96th minute equalizer to get them into extra time, and they scored again. And those guys, like, there was pandemonium. They're posting videos all over their socials. Matt and Dan from the Unused Substitutes, I'll give them a shout out. They're good blokes. And those two guys, they were in, like, there was a photo of the team with the trophy on the side of the field, and then those two unused, so Dan and Matt were in the background as well. Like, they're just really inviting. It's really cool. So I've kind of just casually followed them because their jersey is part of it. When they were starting to do it, I looked up the team. The jersey is dope. It's yellow and green. So we talked about that in one of our first pods. Very similar to the Oregon colors I'm wearing it right now. Horizontal stripes. Yeah, horizontal stripes, and the Nike kit, the Tampa Bay Rowdies like old school font is really cool. And then they got Hard Rock Casino, like hotel, as their shirt front sponsor. So it's kind of got this like lower league, like the Hard Rock like logo is kind of very well known anyway. So it looks good as a sponsor on the shirt. And with that win, like, that unfortunately, like I said, it looks like they're going to. I'll just check the score while we're doing this, but it looks like they're going to lose in it. But they won the Eastern Conference in a game that, in the 80th minute, they were 2-0 down. It's going to be a big, regardless of how this championship finishes. Yeah, 3-1 full time. So unfortunately, they lost Orange County, but still a good year for them and a big, iconic kind of win, a big celebratory moment in that wonderful kit, and a kit that's just stayed very true and similar for a long time now. And, yeah.
Because the Tampa Bay Rowdies have been around forever. They're like,
I think kind of like their current.
Before, I think they don't want to go to the MLS. Oh, I'm sure they kind of want to go to the MLS, but like they're very committed to just being what they are, and that's why they're a powerhouse in the USL always.
Yeah.
Hartford Athletic has a few players that went up there because the USL, once postseason hits and teams don't make it, like it's just a chance for good players to get more exposure and stuff. So Hartford Athletic sent them a couple players. So always happy the lads can help out. It's a bummer they lost, but it's cool. Like, I hadn't heard of Orange County until today. So it's cool when teams like that can win, though I don't like Orange County as a place.
Yeah. Very, very, very strong, red area.
In a very blue state. But it's a weird place. So, but that doesn't seem like a team that's going to go to MLS. So it's kind of cool that they would win, because I can't imagine like Orange County being in the league, really.
No, not when you got two LA teams already. I just can't imagine.
Already. Yeah. And like Orange, I guarantee Orange. Well, I don't want to say anything I don't really know, but I doubt Orange County supports some like Tampa Bay Rowdies fans or Hartford Athletic fans, or even some of like New York Red Bulls too has a huge fan base. I don't really want to name drop them though, because they've done some nefarious shit to one of my friends who's a Hartford Athletic supporter. But that's a cool pick though, because that's what, as I've established on an episode that is a mystery of if it exists. Yellow is the best color. You can bounce anything off it, and I love green and yellow back to back. It's probably why I ended up at Oregon somehow.
Yeah,
because they're perfect.
So that's my first one anyway.
Yeah. Oregon rocked similar uniforms to the one you're wearing right now too. So they went Tampa Bay Rowdies this week as well. Sorry if I stole one of your picks too. I was actually just gonna say my second pick was the game that was formerly known as the Civil War matchup. Just it's kind of, I guess I'll roll into it now since you've kind of brought it up. Oregon wore a similar jersey to this. Wasted the good surprise on you. That's what I just did. Yeah, that's just what I did to you.
All good. We've talked a bit about the majesty of matchups of like the LSU and Ole Miss and some of those. For the West Coast, and especially like for Oregon fans, the Civil War is always a fun match. Like it's just a good matchup. It's formerly known. I don't. Do they have a name for
the Civil War?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. I will just say.
I think it's called formerly the Civil War. I think we need to like.
I think I saw one Twitter account, like one of the guys that's big on Oregon Twitter had his changed his name to Dairy Mart Duel for the week or something like that.
Oh my god, that's so much worse. Why can't it just be Civil War? Like, because there was an insurrection? I don't.
Yeah, I guess it's just they want to get away from, because that obviously comes with the connotations, and you can't separate that. And
right, but everybody's still going, "Oh, Civil War." Oh, I mean, what's it called now? It's like that's not
like I just did, and was really awkward for a bit. Yeah, it's kind of like the Staples Center talk. It's just like we're just getting. Exactly. It's going to be so hard to not call it the Civil War until another name comes in that can. But then we're still going to refer to like. It's not like I've even grown up in Oregon, but it's hard. Like I've been there it's been in my life for 12, 13 years now. I'm not going to take a long time to get away from it. And whether it's
we all knew the Civil War growing up, like even in Nebraska, it's like, oh, they play, and they used to play on Friday. Now they play on Saturday. I was like, what the hell? Oh, the uniforms that's showing on NBC right now are green and yellow. So we got a theme going. Because I high school shit. But I like the Red River rivalry. It's like, just call it the Red River Shootout, because you have people, or just completely change the name. Because if you're going to call it the Red River rivalry, people are just going to be like, Red River Shootout. Oh, I mean the rivalry. It's like, just like, what are we doing? I think we're focused on the wrong things. Like, changing that name doesn't enact change in the world. Whereas like putting the brain power into changing real things would actually help.
Yeah, so like Civil War, and the Washington football team was formerly known as.
I think those are two different subjects.
They are. Yeah, we're getting conflated a bit. And I think when they said they were dropping the Civil War name, I kind of was like, okay, that's fine. I supported it, but it's more like I just don't care actually. Like, but I've realized since I still just refer to it as the Civil War all the time. So, whereas. Not saying the Washington football team. Not saying the Washington football team's name was easy for me because I was trying not to anyway. So it's like it's up to you to have your moral compass set the right way, and if that's But yeah, the matchups anyway. We got away from it a little bit. But I love the Oregon's like bright green and yellow, and then the Beavers with their bright orange. It's like it's not like that traditional color matchup of your SEC teams, but it's like a West Coast thing that's really cool. If they had better cameras from whichever network was covering it.
I was watching the Iron Bowl, I think, because I thought Oregon was going to roll, and they did. They
did. Like it was close to them. Like they were up 24-3 at halftime. Like they were done. It was
right. Yeah. Well, Oregon did look cool, and like that. I love a color on color matchup. Phil Lucas, who dream guest one day, Uni Watch on Twitter. Our God, always retweets people who send him color on color matchups, and I just like it because it's unique when they do color on color, because teams are too afraid to take a chance, and they don't think like people will be able to tell. Whereas like when these guys are running 7-on-7 drills, like they're like shirts and skins or some shit, which is like whatever, So it's like, let people be creative. Like let's have a good time. Like the Browns tonight, I guess the Browns tonight we can talk about Oregon a little bit more. I do kind of wish that Oregon State would wear black, because that to me is more their color. So it'd be like black versus green, like, and it's just like this battle. And I think that would work because the green's bright enough. But I did get a text from my dad right when that game kicked off that it was very colorful. So
I just love it. It's cool. It's cool. Like, not that I'm obviously not an Oregon State fan, but I've got a few teams that I follow that have got a very orange and black kind of dominant, like Dundee United over in the Scottish Premier League. And
what Yorgos was wearing was orange and black, right?
Yeah. I'll put that in there. That's a very Pints and Popcorn crossover with Jersey Boys. Yorgos Lanthimos in his early basketball career, which I was not expecting.
I was not aware that he was like a professional basketball player. I know, it's like I know it was in Greece, but Giannis played in Greece. Like,
yeah, I think someone in the replies was like, well, that shows the level of the Greek league then that this guy just went on to become like. But anyway, no, that's not trying to besmirch any leagues, but yeah, wild.
Reading Giannis's biography, it was pretty clear that the Greek league is struggling, and that it's like you kind of just, if you have any talent at all, just show up. Because Giannis was like really terrible when he started, because he like had never played, and then he was like on the team in 2 years. That's why the biography is kind of weird, because you're like, oh, he just like never played basketball, sucked at it really bad, and then was immediately good. It's really weird.
Yeah,
it seems like it just like clicked at one point.
Some people like, I'm finally getting through, like, this is a book I've started a couple of times, and I love his writing, so it's just I've not gotten back. Like, when you start a book but then get away from it for like 6 months, you just have to start it again.
Yeah,
but I'm finally getting through the breaks of the game, like the Augustine book, which is,
I read that in the spring. Like, it is dense. It's dense sports writing from a different era. It's very good, but
yeah. But like the bits about Kermit Washington and how he started, like he kind of just was like, I'm not going to get where I want to go if I don't play a sport. So he saw his brother get into football and was like, well, I can play, like, I'll give basketball a go. It was pretty, like, not great, but had the raw, like, tenacity and the right attitude. I think it was a guy from Old Dominion. I can't think of blanking on the coach's name. It's like, don't like much about his game, but he's got the right attitude. So I'm going to offer him a scholarship anyway. And then they just found a way to give him the confidence, and then he became an great NBA player. So it's weird.
Had a weird ride. Kind of felt bad for him, because he was like, I think he's the player that was misunderstood for breaking Rudy Tomjanovich's face, right?
Kermit Washington.
Yeah. Maybe you haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah, possibly not.
There was
something about some. Yeah, and he was kind of I think if it is him, he's kind of like, no, I didn't, like, it was like a out of character kind of thing.
Rudy Tomjanovich came like running over, and Kermit's huge, and just threw a punch, and it's like in Malice in the Palace footage, when that guy, like, if Jermaine O'Neal wouldn't have slipped on whatever wetness was on the court and would have landed that punch, he would have killed that guy probably, because it's just a giant throwing a punch. So Kermit did that to Rudy Tomjanovich, who became an NBA coach later on. But he like shattered his face. Like, basically ended Rudy's career, but he was like defending himself and Kareem, I believe, for the Lakers when he was a Laker. So Kermit had an interesting tale. I always felt bad for him, but like, that, the United States is a racist country, so people saw him hit a white guy and immediately assumed he was a thug and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I could be completely conflating him with a different.
I feel like it was
a player from that era, but I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, but he's the one that's got the right, mindset to be that player that we're talking about. As far as, like, he was pretty quiet, studious kind of bloke. Just people thought he was dumb because he didn't talk, kind of thing, and all the racial stuff that they talk about in that book. But I don't even know
it was him
before. Yeah.
Oh, we were just, the rabbit hole. My second jersey of the week is Dortmund's away kits, and these really got brought to my attention by Erling Haaland scoring a goal in them. Black kit, yellow shorts, great uni matchup. Yellow always works, especially with black, and the Ducks wear that a lot. And pointing in what is the greatest celebration of all time, just pointing to a random Wolfsburgs fan who's not happy about the goal, and her giving him the most German fuck you ever. It's just perfect kit, perfect moment. They won that match. And Anna's a perfect
kudos to the cameraman that was on that, or camerawoman, whoever it was.
It's just such a yeah.
Who's he pointing at? And just as they move the camera, like, this person's just like giving him the big ones, and it's just like,
and just like, shout out to like Haaland for having, like, we need more players like that in the league. It makes the game, like, the ambiance of the game more fun, and like that interaction right there is like just so cool. Like, seeing like that kind of personal fan interaction because like the lady was pissed at the goal, but you know that like probably made her week now. So because she got to do that, and got to be like the Wolfsburg like fan of the week or whatever. So
yeah,
but those kids are great.
She's going to be getting stopped in the street and shit from that.
Yeah, there's pictures of her.
Yeah.
But Wolfsburg also usually has pretty cool kids. But Dortmund, I think they own Bundesliga when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
And then also like you've been there, like the yellow wall is, second.
I have the kit that because I buy a kit everywhere we go usually. Try to. We went. It was Dortmund Union Berlin Cup game on Halloween. It was 31st of October, Halloween night. So I bought that year. They were rocking a black away kit, which was really cool. It was like black with kind of a yellow speckle through it, but very dominantly black. So I was like, it's Halloween, and we're going to a Dortmund game. I'll buy the black away kit. So that's in the closet with I think it's got Royce 11 on the back, which he scored 120th minute penalty to win the game. So it worked out in the end. So
I remember.
I think Andrea's got Sancho on the back, which she's not happy about anymore.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's the danger of buying a Dortmund kit is you can wear it for a couple of years. Royce is Royce, but
I went with Royce because he was like he's been there a long time, and he's like it wasn't like if you bought Pulisic because Pulisic played in that game too, and he was like off to.
I would never buy that kit.
No, and then I thought Sancho's cool, but he's gonna be somewhere else soon. Whereas Royce is like a career guy there. So
Sancho's already gone, right?
Yeah, he's at United. He scored for United.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's a bit of an auspicious start to his United career, but that's more down to the complete dysfunction.
That's more on United than him, I think.
Yeah. Them benching Ronaldo this morning was probably a good move.
I missed that. I was sleeping in after a late college football night. But my third pick, which I'll go quickly, and then not pick, but third choice. We will once again bring up the Warriors jerseys because Steph Curry had one of the coolest plays I've seen. And when anybody's a Warriors hater, and I'm a LeBron hater, so I get it. I get like just hating. I get just hating a person or a team, and just like nothing will, because a pod that I would like to call our sister pod. Pod don't lie. They don't acknowledge us, but
probably because they don't know we exist.
Yeah, they don't. Sam did favorite one of my tweets after I told him congrats on the Knicks when they locked up whatever. I think the 4 seed last year. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Sam liked my tweet. But Stav of that podcast just hates the Warriors, and nothing they do will ever work for him. And that shows he's wrong. And but
Train don't lie.
Yeah, but we have friends who hate the Warriors, and they just say like they hate them, but they played like the most pleasing to the eye basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. And that goes for Blazers and everything. I just like could watch the Warriors play basketball forever. And Steph Curry did a fake pass to fake layup to behind the back pass in about the span of a second today. Yeah. And it was one of the coolest plays I've seen. And he was wearing the city kit, the black one, on the road. And it was just like the Warriors are going to go 74-8 and break their own record. And they're going to look good while they do it. So cheers to them. We talk about them every week, and I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go. down this little bit.
That was
look,
old man right there from both of us.
The Warriors, I hated the Warriors, and like I've got a Steph Curry jersey, as they call them, that I just randomly bought in SFO when I think flying back from Vince's wedding, actually. You know, the Warriors, I've appreciated them, and I've loved Steph. Like I watched the fucking 2009 draft with the Knicks jersey on, hoping that the Knicks would draft him. Like, so I've been a Steph fan for before he even fucking entered the league, and then I was fucking sad because. Yeah, so the Knicks probably would have ruined him and traded him for fucking Tim Hardaway Jr. or something in the future anyway. But
they would have cut off his foot after a couple ankle injuries.
Yeah, he might have built. He might have Bill Walton the Knicks and just said, "You guys are fucking stupid," and walked out. And then
that works out poorly for Walton. I don't want to spoil the book for you.
Oh, I know that. I know all that
stuff. That book is a tough read if as a Blazers fan, because it was supposed to be about like the greatest Blazers team ever, and it just is such a slog, and it's just painful, and it's just like you don't really like anybody involved except the writer. The dude's a great writer. He's a great history writer as well. So,
yeah.
At least had sweet hits back then.
Yeah.
And Bill Walton plays for the Clippers that season, and that's when they were the San Diego Clippers, and they used to wear light blue, which I found out during our draft represent ships.
Yeah. What are those triangles they say?
I thought it was modern art.
It's art.
It was like the late 70s in LA. I was like, they're getting weird. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, there probably was a lot of drugs involved as well.
I also didn't know a Clipper was a ship until I was like 25. I thought it was a sled or a thing that cut your hair. I don't think our Clippers wear their city editions yet, but that play was against the Clippers to round us all back to the same point. So get fucked, Clippers.
Yeah. I think my appreciation for the Warriors has been greatest when they haven't had Kevin Durant, which is ironic because I've got a Durant Warriors jersey, but it's just like this has always been Steph's team, and it's probably why Durant ended up leaving because he didn't find the grass was. He got the championships he wanted, but I think he was wanting more out of that relationship that just never came.
I think he left because of Draymond.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
Their bullshit podcast, by the way, about that was like, oh my, they like kind of like blame Steve Kerr for it. And it's like, no, you guys like hated each other that last year. Quit like acting like that was like some media thing. Like there's a video of you guys screaming at each other on the sideline with Draymond literally going, that's why you're going to leave. Like that's the media's fault somehow. But yeah, I would have loved to see what KD could continue to do with the Warriors. Cause I mean, he's one of my favorite players to watch. And like I already said, like
it would have been great, like seeing that continue as just an NBA fan, because that team was just, like you said, it's like everything you love about what they're doing at the moment. Then you add KD into it. It's really fun.
And make sure silky smooth. He just like glides, and that team glides. Yeah. Whereas the Nets are super clunky.
Yeah, well, when you got fucking fat fuck Harden out there, it's like the second, like fucking hell.
Yeah, that's becoming a problem. So
yeah,
they'll look good doing it in their city kits, but
yeah, there's a tweet.
I feel bad for KD.
Yeah, I dropped a tweet from our account this week about Harden, which that's just the coldest kid of the week for me. It's just Harden looking, and it was a retweet of Harden's own
going
tweet.
Cold? Okay, I got this.
No, that's just I guess I've dived straight into it. That's my cold kid of the week. It's just
you have a third kit of the week though.
Oh yeah, this you're gonna love this. Toon Squad.
No,
let's fucking go. Toon Squad. I picked up the Space Jam double set today because I want to back to back those cunts. So,
just watch the first one and call it good. Better uniforms, too, in my opinion. IMO.
Look.
I like the original Toon Squad uniforms better. The color scheme for the second one is not great.
I love the second ones mainly because, like, I've told you before, there's a white jersey thing that I have to not. I can't like.
You don't like? There's some.
No, I actually really like the first movie ones as well. Like, they're classic.
It's very simple. It was a simpler time.
Yeah.
We didn't need robots to play against. We played against aliens, and it made sense. And Bill Murray.
But it wouldn't make sense now.
So and Newman was there. Newman is like just a random guy. Like Wayne Knight fucking crushed the 90s. I bet he was crushing puss.
Literally and figuratively.
Who's to say? Maybe he's a tender lovemaker. I don't know. I love like Wayne Knight was in Jurassic Park.
I'm gonna need you to go on top for your own safety.
Hello, on top. Okay, I've gone too far. He was in Jurassic Park. He was in Space Jam. He was in Basic Instinct, like in Seinfeld. Like that dude crushed the 90s.
Yeah. You're in some of the biggest properties, like Jurassic Park. world, whatever, is still a like ongoing massive IP. Space Jam. I mean, the first movie's just had so much ride, and then the second one's come out, so there's a decent amount of. It's just like
when Space Jam came out, I was like 7 or 8, or we were like, around that age. Space Jam felt like the biggest thing that has ever come out in the world.
Literally is what made me, I think, I knew what basketball was, and I was playing basketball at a young age as well, but I never really knew who basketball stars were. I'd heard of I don't think I've actually seen Michael Jordan properly until I saw, especially because we didn't get game. Like, we had fucking.
The Bulls might be big enough.
I didn't have. No, the Bulls. I knew who the Bulls were. I knew what Jordans were, like shoes, just from friends. I knew. I'd seen the jerseys. I'd never actually seen a game because we had like fucking 6 channels. I grew up in buttfuck nowhere.
That's true.
No cable. It was like, yeah. Welcome to what?
I grew up there. but Mick Jones, or whatever his name is, was walking around with a head on a stick somewhere around you. What's his name? Is it Mick Jones?
Taylor?
Mick Taylor.
You're talking about Wolf Creek. I was like,
is Mick Jones the drummer in the Rolling Stones? I don't know who Mick Jones is. He might have been the Sex Pistols.
Don't know where we.
But
Space Jam was my introduction to
Bulls games because they were like, as we saw in the Last Dance documentary, they were worldwide. But that was like
we got them down here just on. It would have been on like our cable, but my parents were never a cable family until we got. We didn't even have like the internet until. Yeah, we didn't have the internet until I was like 12 and.
That reaction was pretty.
I was trying not to lose my train of thought. It's gone.
Yeah, I feel you though. It's hard to be locked in when you're a kid. Plus, you just want to watch like the Rugrats. I assume
that's why
some sort of weird ass.
Yeah, we had Rugrats and Angry Beaver. Yeah. We had Nickelodeon shows were like on our kids' TV over here. So I watched the fuck out of Rugrats. Are Real Monsters, Angry Beavers. Angry Beavers was my favorite.
Angry Beavers are a lot like you and Matt in many ways. You're Norbert and he's Daggett, obviously, from what I remember. But
Daggett was the brown one that was like just a wacky
red nose.
Little.
And Norbert, who I believe was voiced by Nick Bakay, which is very weird in retrospect.
Wasn't he Salem the cat and Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well?
And he like wrote a ton of shows, but not the topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's switch to kits we didn't like, I guess. And you can start off that because I'm gonna have to freewheel on this one, but I got plenty off the top of the dome. They bother me.
Yeah, well, the kit that I hated the most last week, I've only got one. I mean, I could just laugh at Washington losing the Apple Cup, but that's fine. Well,
I saw none of that game because it was like late on Friday. Did they look bad?
No. The kid, I just wanted to. Washington themselves look bad. The kids, it's just their kids, but they lost and they had the Washington State fans storm the field on their own in Seattle.
That's becoming a new trend, and I think it's going to lead to bad places.
Oh yeah, they planted a flag in the middle of that. Someone's gonna there's gonna be a fan end up with a helmet not in the face, through their face at some point from just an angry.
The Kermit Washington.
Yes, exactly. Rounding it right back.
But Harvard
only actual
this year in my backyard, they did that, and then I think Ole Miss fans did it at Mississippi State, and then it's just like, I don't know, I don't like it really. I think like storming the field is supposed to be reserved for when your team wins a big home game, and it's an upset.
Yeah. Why beating Washington wasn't an upset? Like, I know it's a long time coming, but
it was a long time coming. And my buddy,
I think we all expected that to happen this week. Like, I was not surprised by that result.
My buddy who went to Washington State said it's the Apple Cup. I'm expecting to lose. So
yeah, I mean, I get that too, but then like it's also like he's a fan. Like me from the outside looking at it, I was like, this is the year that they get it done, and
also
comfortably.
Uplifting moment of the week, if you're looking for one, is I don't know who from Washington State in their administration it is, but like him offering the interim coach the full-time job in front of all of his players. Really heartwarming stuff after the win. It's very, very cool. It like gave me goosebumps and stuff. So that's a recommendation I have this week.
I'll try to find that and put it in the blog, which is always accompanying.
I'll send
Jersey Boy. Yeah. And then I'll pop it in the Z blog post that'll be in the show notes. Check them out.
So many uniforms to choose from that I don't like. And performance. I'll go Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Indianapolis. Tom Brady just looked real terrible in a late win. But so just for the record, that's Giants looked good against Jalen Hurts. Tom Brady looked bad. Those are my picks this week. Have nothing to do with anybody really, but just
Shea just wants to shit on my fantasy. Just wants to shit on my fantasy team and shit on my quarterback. That's fine.
Just like go back to the creamsicles, you cowards. I know you're invested in like this like hard pewter, the only team to go with pewter. But like go back to the creamsicles. I want it.
They definitely need to add them in, yeah. Like from the Twitter account, I posted something about like there was a helmets thing that we talked about through that, and they like that old Buccaneer with the cutlass in the mouth.
Clearly gay Buccaneer. It's 2021. We need to celebrate that.
Yeah.
We've talked on this before is like less fierce logos, more happy time fun logos. And that Buccaneer does not strike fear in me. Whereas a skull on a ship that they have now, a little afraid of it. Like, let's go back to the era when it was just like, just a smiling deer just greeting you, Why'd everything have to get so mean? That's also my bad kid of the week. Is everybody with a mean logo, which is like everybody. Like, get out of here, Ravens. Why does the Ravens eye have to be red? Just let it be black.
Yeah.
Because now we're working with some sort of robotic raven. Ravens are scary enough. They steal your soul if you look them dead in the eye. I'm sorry. I'm going off the dome.
I know. I was just trying to go with you. I was like, I'm struggling to catch up. But yeah, it's getting into some Game of Thrones territory now. 3-out Ravens and some soul stealing and.
Well, Lamar Jackson was the 3-pick Raven in the second quarter. Boom. Did it. But just go back.
Yeah, it's why I love like college football. Some of the mascots, like the duck, is a great like mascot. And,
even though they use Donald Duck a lot, and Daffy would be cooler. I was a Daffy guy growing up, so.
Oh yeah, no, Looney Tunes all the way. But it's like there's that lore behind that it was just like a handshake agreement that they got to keep using.
Why do we get Donald and not Daffy?
We'll have to talk to who the fuck. When did that start? I don't know.
I was always hoping we would get our own duck.
But I think it's become such a character now we can't. He's
like a rendering of Puddles is way better than.
They tried that RoboDuck thing or whatever he was back in like the early 2000s, and that did not go over well.
That was like the most early 2000s cocaine fueled idea I've ever seen.
A cocaine fueled idea like 10 years after cocaine was cool as well. So it's just like you've just missed.
Well, it was Oregon, so it took a while to get there. They've always been more into meth. And that was a meth idea because it was terrible. It looked like the Green Goblin from the first
exactly.
Without the charm of Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Fuck, I'd love to be able to do a Willem Dafoe laugh right now, but can't do it.
Dude, the Goblins would be a sweet name for a team.
That's a minor league baseball team in fucking like in like South Dakota or something like that.
Yeah. The Pierre Grass Goblins or some shit. They always put a weird word in front of the mascot they're actually going for, like yard goats. It's like could have just been the goats.
Yeah. What was that one you sent me the other day? It was like, fuck.
I send you a lot of things.
Yeah. I can't think of it right now, so it's all good. But yeah, minor league baseball. We'll do that at some point.
Yeah.
My cold kid of the week we already touched is just James Harden.
Right.
Yeah. Don't even see many James Harden kits walking around. You know how like you kind of when a player's big, you just see people wearing the kits all the time. Like it's hitting summer now, more people are getting around in their NBA. I haven't seen Harden stuff around at all. And people are just off that guy.
I think he's fallen off pretty hard, and like people are tired of his shtick and the NBA rules.
His MVP was a crock of shit, and as well as I think the Westbrook Harden back-to-back year in 10 years. I'm already looking back and I'm going, we got that wrong. So
well, Westbrook definitely padded his stats, but the triple doubles he put up with it.
Oh no, it's a really cool thing, but it's just like we look at it like how they're both going now, and the league and the play. It's just like we did 2 years where that best player, like what we thought was the best player in the league was Westbrook, and then the year after was Harden. Like, no, it just doesn't look right to me.
Well, isn't that the Bill Simmons, Zach Lowe bullshit thing where they're like, oh, it should have been Harden the year Westbrook got it, and they're truthers on that or some shit. And it's like, shut up.
Never
you voted for
probably
it.
Just never have been Harden. That's my thing. But I just don't like Harden.
He's like an unstoppable force, but like, I think the year he got the MVP.
But then we've proved this year that he was a stoppable force because the NBA just changed one rule.
No, he proved this year that he's an unmovable force.
Unless it's to a strip club at 2 or 3 a.m. Then he finds his way there sneaky quick.
Yeah, I just feel bad for KD, like I said, because it'd be cool. Like I would be cool with him winning a title and like Harden, like can't play because of overeating, like Zion, or something. I would like KD to win his own title without the Warriors, kind of like back in the day when I wanted Kobe to win without Shaq, which was kind of confusing in retrospect. But yeah, I'll give you that. The Nets could do more with their kids, but at least they have a cool city.
Yeah, KD's saving them at the moment with both being able to make a kit look good as well, and the Patty. I'm a big fan of Patty Mills, so
there you go.
That's cool.
Probably see a lot of those around the upside down.
Yeah, a lot of Patty Mills Spurs jerseys get around down here. Yeah.
Have you seen any from the kid from OKC, Giddey?
Not OKC ones yet. No. Just a few like 36ers ones getting around. Not too many of them. Like awesome. I've got mine, but
36er one is obviously cooler than an OKC one. But the first time you see one,
I will make note of it. I'll make note of it.
Christmas time, you'll start seeing them.
Yeah. There's probably a few. You getting shipped over right now. Hopefully in time for this down under Santas to give their kids or partners.
Boy, Mom, I want a Giddey kit.
I'm not sure which region of England that sounded like, but it was not really
the one that colonized Australia. It was on the boat over.
Yeah.
You guys not say oi?
Oi. No, we do say oi. It's just the Giddey kit. Just sounded
Giddey kit. Yeah, it's hard. What do you guys call them? Runners?
Oh, we call them what?
Not runners. No. Joggers. No. What do you call
I could tell jumpers? You, but I was just wondering. Yeah, jumpers is one. Yeah.
Okay.
But like a jersey. That's better. That's good. I want a Giddey jumper.
That sounds
get off your ass cunt and get me one. Sorry, Mum.
Yeah. That's the new polywog is a Giddey jumper. Oh, I scored 3 Giddey jumpers at cricket practice or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have some other sport other than AFL and cricket that I don't understand.
It's rugby, so I don't know. I guess that's probably more. That's you guys have that a bit over there. Just small time.
I understand the rules of rugby better than AFL for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think of Australia as a rugby nation. I think of it as Australian rules football.
That's good. It is certain areas that definitely would say that it's rugby, but yeah.
They're not the All Blacks, you know.
I'm on your side. Yeah. Fuck those guys.
There it is. Moving on to the next segment.
All right. So the main pet we've actually did like our hottest skits kind of just turned into the episode, but we'll talk about this.
I think it usually will.
Yeah. We're talking kids. They're talking jumpers.
Giddey jumper.
We're also dumb as shit. Shout out, Pod Don't Lie again.
Sister pod, don't know it yet. They're also welcome on this pod to talk uniforms anytime they want.
Mm-hmm. That'll get
we could really use the numbers, guys.
Yeah. But the main thing, it was really cool news this week that this is a thing that has bothered me for a long time in the Premier League. It's, anyone that's a soccer fan, Premier League fan, will know that teams release a new home kit every year, and they change up the design pretty to the point. Like, it's funny because most sports, we've talked about NBA. The Blazers, NBA has 3 or 4 kits a year, but you have 2 that don't change much, and then you have a couple that do. So you're not like you sit there and go, don't need to get a home kit every year. If one of the other ones I like, I can go out and get it, but I don't need to. The Premier League's really got this thing going where fans of the teams are really pushed to buy the new kit every year because they release one every year, and it's kind of like there's this fear of missing out thing with it as well. And I do I've
absolutely
for a long time.
You feel bad, wearing last year's kit sometimes because you're like, oh man, you see everybody else looking so cool, especially like when they drop them in like the late spring and you see somebody wearing next year's kit already in May at the end of the season. You're like, oh my god.
It's like they got it that day basically.
Yeah.
It came out. It's like, how did you do that?
Yeah. I've done that before. Gotten an Arsenal kit straight from the mail, ripped the tags off, wore it to the pub.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Just because I was stoked. I was like, hell yes. Brand new kit.
And there's nothing better because then people and it does stoke up conversation as well because people go, okay, they're when you see someone in a new kit, they're invested at that point, and especially when you get it straight away, it's like, okay, that guy has got it, guy or gal has got it at drop, had it mailed out, they've put it on. It's like, okay, so they're invested right now, they're into it there, so it's like a talking point. And so there's all these things that come with the new kits and the kits being released every year. But what Brentford FC have done in the Premier League, and this is a team that's just come up to the Premier League this year after a long absence, or have they been? I can't remember. Anyway,
no, it was like 84
50
years or something.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah,
because Arsenal had the pleasure of being their first Premier League match on a Friday night in front of a fuck you English Premier League for that. For our schedule, we went Brentford away on a Friday night for no reason. They put it on a Friday night, and then Chelsea, then City. So thank you, schedule makers. They've recovered though. Anyway, I digress. Brentford.
Yeah, so basically, and it is in the Premier League charter from back in the year 2000, but this is what's so funny. It's like it's in the charter that it's a recommendation that teams should have kits go for 2 years. And so I think it's in the charter, but it's only a recommendation. So it's not like a thing that they force. Tottenham, those cunts started just releasing like 3 different kits a year back in the mid 2000s. So they were one of the ones. It's like,
how many?
What are you going to get? You're going to get the off-white, the white, the cream, the bone, or the beige. Like, what the fuck? Like,
and then they did the one last year that was like, or maybe it's this year. I can't. Jesus, I have COVID brain. I haven't even had COVID, but it's like everything
in a COVID world
mixes together. That's what happens in a pandemic. Everything mixes together. But they had like this, like they tried to go like really far out with like this like paisley, like trippy design, and it's just like if another team did that, it would be cool. But you guys are so boring. It just looks stupid. Like Harry Kane looks bad in everything. So it's like, but again, we're talking about Brentford. But you brought up Tottenham. I do feel like when I started, it was more two years for home kits. I feel like
that's in the what I was going to say. Arsenal and Liverpool were 2 of the teams that right up until I think 2011 or 2012 did go the 2 every 2 years. Because basically, Liverpool with Adidas went every 2 years, and then they changed to Warrior as their kit sponsor, and then that's when they started releasing one every year. So they wanted Liverpool and Arsenal, I think, were the last 2 teams that changed. That finally just succumbed to that kind of just let's try to eke every bit of money out of the supporters' pocket as possible. So what Brentford have done this year, so now it's basically been every team. I think I've read that, so I was doing a bit of reading about this whole issue leading up to the podcast, and Brighton and Hove Albion, they roll over whatever their away kit is this year will roll over and be their third kit next year. So you kind of get two. They have two new kits every year, I guess, but one of theirs carries over to the next year. So that's kind of cool. But what Brentford have done is they've actually.
I like if I'm a fan of them now that we're used to what's going on, like I'd be kind of bummed by that. Because it's like kind of like the city kit thing or the city edition uniforms that we were talking about. It's like,
but I'd be happy enough if it was only one kit a year that I had. That was a changeover, you know, like one kit every year, and then they changed it to I don't know. But well, what Brentford are doing anyway is their home kit this year is going to carry over to next year as well. They've announced that they want to make it more sustainable, both for fans, which is really cool, as well as they just said it's a sustainable thing for. You know, they're working. Their Umbro is their shirt sponsor, and Umbro are on board, and they're saying that
Umbro is so dope.
Yeah, and all their main sponsors on their shirts are on board. They talk to them all and say this is what we want to do to be good for our fans and good for the world in general. Is less, you know, not producing a new kit every year is just a good thing because there's less getting thrown out every year or whatever by
less
parents.
Shipping, like the planes and the boats and all the shit. It's like goddamn.
Yeah, and they said it's a little bit, but it's something like that's what you know, and it's a good thing for fans to not have to feel that pressure every April or May that there's a new kit drop and they want to it does become a bit of an addiction thing that you want to get the new kit every year. And I know I have it all the time. Whenever I see a new kit drop from one of my teams, I have that urge to just drop the money then and there without thinking. I've gotten better as the years go on at not doing that. It is something. So Brentford have taken that away, and hopefully they're continuing. And it bucks the trend because Brentford is a team that's just come up. They could very easily milk the cash cow of the Premier League for all it's worth while they're there because they're probably a team that like every team that gets promoted, their plan is to stay up and find a way to sustainably. It
does look like they're going to stay up.
They're having a good year this year, but then there's a lot of teams that have a good year first year and then they can drop away and be out again in 2 years. So, you know, they could very easily drop another Premier League kit for next year to get that money, but they're staying to a principle, which is unfortunately a rarer thing as sports grows, and you know, maybe this is what we do need to get back to in sporting business and as fans is like a little bit more of a sustainable product that isn't just trying to just bleed everything and bleed every idea dry. And so it's really cool Brentford that are doing that, and it's because like I said, it's something that's bothered me ever since when Liverpool stopped doing it. It was normal for me as a Liverpool fan growing up. They two ran, you know, one kit ran for 2 years and made it a lot more sustainable for me as a fan, even though I wasn't buying kits as regularly then anyway. But it just was easier to be like, oh, I could get that one, but I've got a long time to get it. But it's something that's bothered me probably for the last decade. It's just how many kits are dropped every year. It just seems oversaturated to me. So I was wondering
it's hard to keep up for sure. Yeah. Like, and then they do these one-offs every year. Like if you like a big club like Liverpool or Arsenal, they do like, I don't know, they did these really cool like tie-dyed ones for Arsenal a few years ago for the food bank or whatever. And Liverpool did their own version of that too. And it's like, well, do I even get one of those? It's like, they're never going to wear these, but it's like this one-off cool jersey. What I would like to see, and I'm not saying they should do this, you know, do whatever you want, but what I would like to see is permanent home kit, because at least from like the top 6, because those teams have classic kits and they have a brand that I think people tune in for. And so it's like when Chelsea goes like overboard on their lame ass, like their kit this year is terrible. Like it almost looks like gator skin. I don't know. It's just like, just wear like a really nice royal blue, Chelsea. And like that's what this does, is it puts the pressure on design teams to make the home kit so much different all the kits so much different every year that you're losing some of the tradition in it. It's like, I like Arsenal straight up kind of like this, but I would have had this red and cut this off at the sleeve. For those listening, I like a red jersey and then white sleeves on Arsenal's kit, white shorts, and then we're good. And then do whatever the hell you want with the away kits in the third kit. I think that's what it should be, is like have a standard home kit every year and then do whatever you want with the other two. I prefer Arsenal to have yellow and blue away kits because that's kind of their history. And I definitely always get the away kit when we wear yellow. So I would like them to stay to that color scheme, but they don't. And that's just modern football. So
Yeah, no, I absolutely. My thing, like I'm happy with them. The 2-year thing worked, but I actually think a 3-year model would be really great. It's like, yeah,
it's a generation of players. Really.
If a team creates a home kit that they have to keep that for 3 years, and then you could do it like you could make contract if they want to if they have like they want to do a special one-off, like if they like 125th year jersey, then that's like a different thing, and they can have that as like a fourth kit option, but they still have that main one that they wear. Yeah,
Arsenal had a great 125th. It was just like
Arsenal had that one that they wore there last year at Highbury as well, and it was like that's a reason to have one. But then it's either you have a 2 or 3 year window that you have to keep that jersey, and if you want to break that early because something's kind of like you just want to do something different, then you have to you pay a penalty for that or something like a hefty charitable donation to some Premier League fund or
like if you're gonna change it, like just like put a collar on it, take the collar off. Like don't like fucking I don't know. Arsenal does some stupid shit with their home, and I know Liverpool does too. They all do. They do some stupid shit sometimes because they feel like they have to.
Yeah, because they have to. New Balance had a really good run at the end where they just went to a deeper red and they like really hit it at the park. Yeah, the Nike ones haven't been. I like last year's one, but this year's I'm lukewarm on.
That is shocking because I find Nike to be the best kit maker.
Yeah, I think they're like last year's kit I actually really enjoyed. It was very simple and had some cool touches to it, but it's still like because New Balance had done such a good job of the 125th anniversary ones and then a couple of others after that. It was just it was the kind of and it was like a lukewarm thing to go into Nike. I've been wanting Nike for years, but it's just
I would like to go back, but Adidas is serving us well so far. Puma is just like Puma took way too many swings, and like obviously Arsenal had to sign off on them. So, but they were the Puma years were
certain teams suit certain producers. Like we were talking about Dortmund before. Dortmund and Puma just seem to work well together because they do like doing some funky things.
Hard to fuck up black and yellow.
Yeah, and Dortmund just is more malleable, it seems, to those wild ideas because they had those super cool like Nike 90s kits that are very popular still in the classic kit community. They've just had some wild designs, so that Puma seems to work for them. Whereas, Arsenal just doesn't call for that. I guess your third kits you can have some fun with, and Adidas do.
Oh, our third kit this year is sick. I need to get one of those.
But for your home ones, you just need to be a bit more classically refined, I think, and that goes for Liverpool, United, all those teams. It's the wild swings with the home kits at times. We just don't want that or need that.
No, not at all. Like Arsenal has like royal blue stripes on their home kit this year, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like we can't even figure out the colors for our home kit. Like these are navy blue stripes.
Yeah.
For those listening on my kit, and now we're doing royal blue. It's like we can't even figure out like a color scheme for the home kit and just keep it what it should be. I don't know. But it's cool to have a kit to wear every year too, and be that guy if I can show up in the kit and be like, yeah, we already got the kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the fans, and especially like if you had kids, like I can't imagine like probably won all three every year, So
I can imagine that, especially with like because kids these days have so much. I didn't know the only reason when I got my first Liverpool kit when I was 16. It's one of the Reebok ones with the logo center on the The only reason I knew what it was because there was like the sports store and the Northern Suburbs shopping center we went to had a big one of their big posters on the outside of their store was like Michael Owen, Harry Kewell, and a few others like celebrating a goal in the Liverpool kit. And I was like, I want that one. So my mum bought it. My mum bought it for me for my birthday. It was like she found it at the store, I guess. But
nice.
I had we used the but I was a kid, so I like growing up in the early 2000s on a farm. I didn't use the internet as much. I knew what Liverpool kits were. So. Yeah, so but now kids have got fucking iPads and iPhones and fucking touchscreen fridges and shit these days, where they can look up. They like literally kids. The amount of times you see kids like this is just me being an old man right now, but it shows how the kids just know everything about what if a kid is a sports fan at 5 years old, then they know more about what that team looks like than I ever did until I was probably 15 or 16 because they have the cognizance to be able to. Yeah, and they're just Googling they're Googling shit and they're like, oh, like a fucking 6-year-old that's just discussed, like has fallen in love with basketball is probably Googling every player and knows every jersey combination that the Hawks going to wear. And if he's a Trae Young fan, he already knows every Hawks jersey that Trae Young's worn and is probably putting him on his Christmas list right now. Yeah. I don't know why Trae Young came to mind. It was just a random example of a player that is
small-nutted villain. Yeah, they're not Googling, is this mole cancer? They're Googling, like, how do I get free candy? I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how much time kids have. And, like, that's why, like, even, like, when I was in grad school at 30 and I was, like, with 22-year-olds, they, like, they knew every single thing about sports. And it's like, oh, right, because you're not worried about, like, bills and loans and car payments and shit like that. Maybe some of them are, but it's like they just have so much more room to process stuff. And then just obviously getting older, you lose some space. Lose some space up in the dome.
But then, like this latest, like these generations after us are growing up with more and more time where Googling stuff that you're interested in instantaneously on your phone is just normal. So you find out information so much quicker. Like, if you and I, like, if you and I had been friends in high school, but we literally were half a world away and didn't know each other existed. But like me and my friends are out like riding motorbikes and stuff, and we're talking about something sitting on a hill after a ride or whatever. It's like our phones were like Nokia 3310s. We couldn't do, so we had to be like, if we were talking about something, we just talked about it without any basis of being able to find out what we were talking about. And then by the time we get home, we've forgotten about it and we don't. But whereas nowadays,
everybody
right. Yeah, you can just oh man, I really want to know. Yeah, fuck it, let's Google it. Okay, you've got the and then you go through it, whereas you never have that. It's so weird. So yeah,
I miss the era of like, nah, dude, you don't know what you're talking about, and that was the end of it because there was no way to find out. Like on a flip phone, you would have like internet, but it would take like
it would be
to load, and then you'd like try to like use Google, and you just be like, oh, this is just absolutely not worth it.
Yeah, it's clunky. It was clunky as fuck. It was, yeah.
That being said, I wish I would have had an iPhone all my life. So
yeah. Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that these kids, but the kids, like, to round it back to the jersey thing, is like they do know so much more to be able to ask, like, to demand and whinge and have a tantrum when they can't get the 3 jerseys in a year. Whereas I was just happy to get one red Liverpool jersey in my entire teenage existence. I got one Liverpool jersey, and that was like a golden moment. I've still got it. But nowadays, it's just like there's so many at your fingertips, and the ability for kids to know what they are and then to demand that, and so that's what these leagues know that now. So they're it's a shady business, but it's a legitimate.
But it works on old people too, because we're all just kids. We're all at the end of the day just kids. We like shiny stuff. We want new stuff. We want we want. It's a human nature. So it's like they're just playing into that. And so I don't see it go like it's cool that a team like Brentford could do this, but I don't see, like a Liverpool or Arsenal doing it.
No, unfortunately not. I'd love if they did, because Liverpool sometimes has that like faux like FSG has that faux, we're for the people kind of thing going, and then they got the fingers behind their back.
One of the biggest brands in the world. Like, you just got a bunch of cocaine seized with the logo on it.
I think I tweeted from my own account, not the Jersey Boys one, saying like, man, FSG are involved in all these lucrative businesses and people still don't like them. I don't get
it. Yeah. To me, I would have tweeted out if I wouldn't have got suspended from work for doing it. It'd be like, I already know that this drug has fentanyl in it. It's dirty dirty
dope.
Good on Brentford though. Good for their fans. I'm sure there are Brentford fans who are upset though. They're like, oh, we're in the Premier League.
There's going to be those ones that have the disposable income that they were.
Be happy if you can afford it. Be happy. Like, think of the other people if you're not,
Yeah.
The kid who can get one Christmas present all year and gets this and then gets to wear it proudly for 2 straight years instead of just one. So,
yeah. There's going to be a lot of kids get their kits for Christmas this year, and it'll be relevant. I mean, they're always relevant, but it'll be relevant on screen for another year and a half after this Christmas, which is cool. So
exactly. I'm glad American sports. doesn't do that to that extent. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, MLS has gone a completely different way, which I don't think is good either. But like making everybody basically wear the same kit, but
yeah,
it's terrible.
It was funny watching. I was watching you're not going to like the show, but it was the Man in the Arena series that's on at the moment. I was showing highlights of back when
what's that
Patriot.
one?
That's the Tom Brady series. It's like Tom Brady's.
Proud of myself that I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's like each episode is on one of the Super Bowls he's played in. So it'll do the losing ones as well.
Oh, the losing ones? I'll watch those.
Yeah, they'll do. Yeah, you can hate. You can.
How many has he lost? 5, 6?
It's 3, dude. Come on.
Is it 3?
Yeah, he's
7
and 3
lost
in
all
Super Bowls.
He could have lost all of them.
Last year's is probably the most dominant one, which the one.
Ooh, I forgot about last year's.
Yeah.
I was not thrilled.
But it was watching.
He got a home game. Of course, he got a home game.
Yeah. The conspiracy.
First time ever, of course, happened.
So the first episode obviously was first Super Bowl. I think it was the Rams Patriots highlights they were showing. Like the Patriots are in, or maybe it was even before that they were showing some Bledsoe stuff. But there was one game where the Patriots are in Adidas uniforms, and I think it was the Rams. It could have been somewhere else, or in Reebok. And I didn't realize that there was a time when it was like independent to like, and that's just me only becoming a fan like properly and being able to watch games, in the mid 2000s, really. But like watching those early games and seeing independent uniform usage between teams, which is, because all leagues are just uniform now in the major leagues. That was cool. So
yeah,
cool little bit of history just seeing.
Uniform. I remember when it was uniform and it was Reebok. It was weird.
Yeah. I got a Reebok Randy Moss Patriots jersey somewhere in this house. So.
I have a Reebok Browns Brady Quinn jersey in MD.
Are you the one that's just got every quarterback on the back now?
No, just Brady Quinn. I would take a Mayfield jersey. I like what they wore tonight. They're 1946 throwbacks, but
yeah, Browns have some cool kids.
Wore white helmets, which it would have been cool to see the Browns were just like plain white helmets from 1946. Would have been cool. They played like shit, but regardless.
Have you got an edition for a kit yet? Or do you want me to do mine first and then?
If the Browns would have wore white helmets, that's my edition, and truly been true to the 1946 team and not worn face mask either. Go face maskless. Who's going to be the first throwback team to do it?
Just go Leatherheads where we're at it.
Oh my God. Just a generation of morons. And one of them ended up as our president. Gerald Ford played in a Leatherhead and just got to lead the free world.
Considering the history of The Office with guys like Trump and Bush in there, those guys wore Leatherheads at some point in a different.
Well, Bush was doing that Liverpool cocaine, and Trump supplied it. I don't know. It's the end of the pod. I'm not as sharp.
All right. Well, my addition to a kit,
I would have liked to bash Trump harder then. Red hats. What's the deal with that?
Speaking of
fuck him for ruining red hats, by the way.
Yeah,
there's been
I like there's a trend now of like I've seen different like social media things where like it'll be someone that's wearing a red hat that says "Made You Look," Black Lives Matter, and stuff like that. So
yeah, I like it, but from afar, it's just like my eyesight isn't very good.
Yeah.
Like, I just think you're a dipshit. Like I'm just if you.
I applaud the move because they probably know that some people that are only having a passing look are probably thinking that. But then if you look closer, it's like it's turning the tables. Oh, yeah. So the turntables have turned the tables.
How the tables have turntabled. I can't go any further into this or I'll get fired.
I'll do my edition. My kid edition this week is a sassy tribute to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So United a few years ago
did the Shea.
Well, they did. They a few years ago when he was first on as manager, they did a kit where it had like the 90+3 on the arm as a tribute to him scoring the winner and um in
File
that
that under
Champions League final
gives
against.
a shit, Ollie.
Yeah.
I was a child.
So they did that as like a tribute to them winning the Champions League in '99 as like a 20th anniversary, and it was ironic because that year that they wore those kits, they were so bad that they could drop out of the champion. Like they didn't even get to wear them in the Champions League, I think. So as a continuation of that theme of United doing little shitty tributes to things on the arms of their jerseys, I say put a ship's wheel on the sleeve of their jersey next year as a tribute to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reign at Man United. Just a little ship's wheel with a little crack in it, kind of like this, what the ship's wheel would have looked like after Dale and Brennan crashed it in Step Brothers. Just boats and hose, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer edition. He's out now, but it's a era that most fans of other clubs are going to remember more fondly because he took a team and made it a team of just so much talent and made it incredibly beatable for the last 2 years. So we're going to miss you, Ollie, and I fully endorse a ship's wheel tribute on a future United jersey.
Yeah, it fucking sucks that he got sacked before they play Arsenal this week.
Yeah.
They drew Chelsea today. It's like the players are probably so relieved, but they're going to be unsure. Whatever. I think Arsenal will win that match, hop into the top 4. But yeah, he is. I don't think it's totally his fault. I just think United is a mess, and I'm just glad that Arsenal isn't the biggest mess in the Premier League anymore. Or at least a big club and I can't decide if I like their away kits or not. United's. They're kind of wonky, but they're kind of fun.
Which ones?
They're like light blue.
And right. Yeah.
They're okay. Depends on the shorts they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, Klopp, because they've got that Ralf Rangnick from Germany coming in, who's like a really long, he's a big coach over there, and Klopp was asked about it, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's a pity that there's a good coach going to Man United." It's just I think it was like Klopp being very honest, Klopp's he's quite, respectful to his. So it wasn't like a disrespectful knock at Ollie, but it was also I think, innocuously because he was saying, "Oh, it's a pity," and it's like pretty much saying they're finally getting a good coach.
Oh, he was tongue in cheek. Klopp is on my shit list right now, anyway. So, and we don't need to get into it, but. You saw Snapchats from me at this very crowded bar the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, I don't know. That was a COVID melting pot.
Yeah. Well, I got my booster. Before that.
Not saying it. I'm just saying it. There's just so many people packed in there. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was painful. It pained me, but I was also like, whatever. We'll leave that alone. I was also like, I want to get some beers before Thanksgiving, and like this is my spot. And when it started to cool down, I finally got a spot at the bar along with other regulars.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 other regulars, and I was just on my phone, probably talking about how busy it was to you and my other pals. And one of them saw the background of my phone, and they were just like, "How'd you like that match on Saturday?" And I was like, I'm not wearing Arsenal gear, other than my gray hat, but nobody can tell that's an Arsenal hat. I've been asked if it's a dinosaur multiple times on my hat. It's a cannon. But the guy saw the background of my phone. And I promise this story has a point, going back to the United hate. And he goes, "How'd you like that match on Saturday?" And I was like, "What? What? Do I know you? What's going on?" He's like, and he just points to this Liverpool tattoo of the liver bird on his forearm, right where I have my Notre Dame tattoo. So we're men of the same ilk. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was just like, I was just like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I thought it'd be a better match." And he was like, "Yeah, so did I. You guys have a good squad this year." So he's a classic Liverpool fan. And he just goes to me, he's like, "Well, at least we both don't like United." And I was just like, I hate Liverpool a lot more than United. So that story had a point. That story had a point.
It's so funny because if you'd like, I know it's like age, but like I know if you'd been a fan like in the late 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, I think it would be completely because United Arsenal
I
rivalry
don't
that time
like
was
United. I will say that. I don't like
yeah.
United. They were always good when I was growing up, and like when Sports Center, before I knew what soccer, like what the English Premier League truly was, like United always won. And I was like, oh, they must be very good. And like obviously Liverpool has way cooler like optics and a cooler history. But it's just that 80% of the soccer fans I know like Liverpool, including some of my closest friends. So it's just, and I don't really have any United friends. I honestly don't. I like they're like every single American soccer fan I meet and like is a Liverpool fan. It sucks, and I hate them for it.
We're cool people. At least I oh wait, no, I did make you
Degrees
wear
of
it.
Liverpool fans and how they annoy me. They annoy me in different ways. Like seeing your Twitter typically just sends me off into a blind rage, and then I go lay down on the train tracks and wait for it to come, and it never comes. So, but then like I'll go home for Christmas this year and like go watch like Arsenal play, like meet up with friends and watch Arsenal play like West Ham or something, and they'll just be like, "You have to see these Liverpool highlights from this," and it's just like that's a different type of annoying. It's, like, it's just annoying. And one of my Liverpool fans was like mad that Arsenal lost to City because Liverpool wasn't going to be able to do their like the champion thing. What they call that? The Walk of Champions or whatever. You know, do we know what that's called? The Guard of Honor or something? The honor?
No, yeah, because City had to do that for us. So I don't know why they.
This was in. Oh, City did have to do it for you guys.
City had their first match after we clinched the title was against City, and they fucking boat raced us. But I think it was because we were fucking hungover. Yeah, no, City had to do it, and like because there was controversy because Bernardo Silva is such a cunt. He didn't like applaud or anything. He just stood there and like looked away.
I like that more than having to applaud. Like, I would absolutely not applaud my biggest rival.
Well, you are famously a cunt, so that's like
famously. But like, I think we need more of that shit in rivalries. It's like
I don't mind it. I was just like, all right, I fucking see you. I respect you being a cunt, but you're a cunt. So that's how I thought of it. It's like it doesn't bother me that much. I'm just like I also see like the other side of it's like when we've had to do it, it's just like you just give them a round of applause, say yeah, fair play, we'll get it, we'll see you next season. Like there's also that side of it, like certain players just react differently to it. Bernardo Silva's just the odd one out that just acts like that. That's fine.
I would do that. I wouldn't.
He's also the guy that sang the songs on the plane that were really disrespectful. So he's just goes down a road of.
You know who wouldn't do that? You know who wouldn't clap? Roy fucking Kent.
Fuck. He's finding himself in retirement.
I would find myself too if I was dating Keely. Maybe I would clap if I was with Keely, but until then, I will not clap. Is that called the Guard of Honor? What is that called?
Yeah, Guard of Honor. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember a Liverpool fan, saying to me like, "Arsenal better win today," or
yeah, I can't find.
I don't know. It was
what that would be.
COVID. It was during COVID, and they were like, "Oh, I'm mad that either Arsenal won or lost, and we don't get this Guard of Honor." I don't know. It ended up working out for you guys anyway, but I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Maybe it was that we're going to get the Guard of Honor like at Everton, possibly because that was a game that was before. But I
think that's what it was. Yeah. Like,
yeah, which that would have been fun. That would have been fun, but I was like, it was just as
you guys needed Arsenal to beat
City.
Yeah, you guys needed Arsenal to beat.
We needed them off our like. I mean, we were always going to win it, but it's just like when it happened, which is like, first world problems. Like I was just happy it was happening, so I didn't really care.
So. Yeah, but okay. Long story short, which has gone long, but a Liverpool fan texted me that he was mad that Arsenal lost because you guys weren't going to get the Guard of Honor at the place you wanted. And I was just like, Fuck off. I don't give a shit. You fucking asshole. There's a fucking pandemic going on. I don't give a fuck about Liverpool. So these are the things that I don't like about Liverpool. And I said that to that man, and he understood. He was a nice bloke. We probably all caught COVID together. It's great.
Oh, well, that's probably a good spot to wrap on, I think, with Shout and Ollie, and then randomly just had a little bit of a deep dive at the end of the pod into Shea's mindset as it pertains to Liverpool.
As an insane human being, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot to be me. But I didn't really dislike Ollie, or I had nothing against him. I think whoever they'll get, I'll feel the exact same way unless it's Mourinho again. Yeah. or Fergie.
Oh God. He's probably the only one that could come back and make a massive difference. Although this guy from Germany, I think, will be fine for him. But
did they sign somebody officially?
Yeah, I think they've got that Rangnick coming in from Germany. I think he's coming in as an interim, but Carrick still managed them today because he's not there properly yet. So I think that's what's happening.
Nice. Well, we'll see on Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be. I think if he is coming in now, then he'd be there at the helm for that game, I would say.
Nice.
We shall see.
I'm ready to beat him. I'm ready to beat him on I'm statement match on Thursday. I'm ready.
Yeah. Time to get it done.
Just so the podcast. Right. No, I'm ready.
Shea's ready. Shea's ready.
I'm ready.
Which is something we rarely say, but
rarely ready. I would say I'm not even ready to be united, but I am ready.
Oh, until the next episode, I still don't have an outro, which has now become my outro, ironically. So Jersey Boys out. That's it.
Good fourth ep. I don't know which episode. Was that the 5th episode?
I don't know.